Hey guys, it's me, Remy, from My Couch to Your Couch, discussing news of the week. And today I'm going to discuss my 2 cents about the Florida shooting that happened on Wednesday, that they're now calling it the Valentine's Massacre. I was telling a coworker, when it happens, I'm pretty sure, give them a day or so, they're going to start calling it the Valentine's Day Massacre, which is something I really don't want to hear, but that's what they're calling it. And I'm watching CNN, I'm watching all these politicians, and they're heartbroken about what happened. They say they're heartbroken. They say this is a horrible thing. President Trump says no parents should have to drop their kid off at school in fear that their kid may not come back home to them. No, you shouldn't have to worry that your kid is going to be in danger once you drop him off at the school, which is correct. Any parent, I'm not even a parent yet, I'm a godparent. I'm working on becoming a parent, but right now I'm a godparent. If I had to drop off my goddaughter or godson to school, the last thing on my mind should be, will she get shot today? Is she coming home safe? Will I be getting a phone call? Or will my friend be getting a phone call? No parent should want to get a phone call that, your child is hurt or your child is no longer among the living because of a gun shooting at the school. And and the really sad part is that there were so many warnings about this kid being a danger to everybody around him. There were so many warnings. There's scriptures in the Bible that always talking about warning before discretion. And there were so many warnings. The last 2 years, this kid has been on social media, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, literally just posting pictures and videos that basically letting us know that he's a ticking time bomb, and eventually something horribly is gonna go wrong, and something horribly did go wrong. He's been, the cops has been called to their house over 12 times in the last year and a half. Him and his brother both have behavior issues. You have therapists like, he's been to counseling the last year, and he's been on medication, and he was fine. I saw no threat. His social media was the opposite of what they were saying. And the fact that there's also in an article where they said that someone actually called the FBI to report his social media of him basically posting videos and pictures of him wanting to hurt people, him wanting to hurt himself, or him wanting to hurt other people. And then they failed to send that to the Miami FBI field office, so the Miami never got wind of it. Because I'm pretty sure if they did, they probably could have taken him into custody, or at least took his guns away from him, or whatever actions they could have taken if the FBI would have sent it to the Miami FBI office, the field office. And then FBI director was like, well, we're going to investigate this, and everybody's under investigation, and we're going to scrutinize, and we're going to comb through and see what went wrong. And we appreciate that. But the real thing is that the main thing that we have to discuss, that no one wants to touch and they don't want to acknowledge, is that the gun laws maybe need to be a little bit more stricter, especially for unstable people. Unstable people shouldn't be able to buy guns so easily, especially when they have showed evidence that they're unstable. And he showed that he was unstable for the last 2 years. So when you have evidence that you're unstable for 2 years or more, it should be twice as hard for you to be able to walk into a gun shop and buy a gun, let alone an assault rifle. It should be twice as hard for you to be able to buy one. And they're making it very easy. So you can have all these mental issues that you can have, up to the wahoo-hoo. And you can go back into a gun shop and buy whatever gun you want, an assault rifle, whatever you want to buy. And it shouldn't be like that. And being that this is the 18th shooting, it's only February 17th. It hasn't even been 90 days yet into the new year. Now you go to work, you have a 90 days probation. It's like going to work and you have already been late for like 2 weeks in a row. You haven't been at the job for 60 days yet. They're going to let you go, right? Like, hey, you ain't been for 90 days yet and you're already screwing up. So, so basically we need to, do something about this. We need to make the laws a little bit more A little bit more script. It just can't just be, anybody can just come in and buy a gun when they're showing it, they're sitting there and they're showing you evidence of, I'm not stable. I'm not stable. And the fact that we have 18 shootings in not even 40 days yet is also heartbreaking. And then to hear politicians say, this is not the right time to talk about gun laws. And if you try to bring it up, that means you try to politicalize, you're trying to get some attention, you're trying to politicalize, and you're trying to get some votes or whatever and get your, you're trying to use this for elections. Sandy Hook happened 6 years ago. 6 years ago. And people are saying, back in 2006, the Democrat, they the one with the majority of the House, they could have done something. 2012, the Republicans could have done something. Well, unless someone has a time machine in their basement or somewhere where you can time travel back to 2006 and hop on the Democrats for not doing what you thought they should have done, and hopping on the Republicans in 2012 for not doing what you think they should do, it's 2018. We're asking you now, what are you going to do about it now? If you're a responsible gun holder, we're not after you. I don't care about the responsible gun holder. I don't care. If you're responsible, you're responsible, you're stable, your Second Amendment, have all the guns you want to have. But the NRA, who's pouring all this money to Congress and basically owning Congress, and they're too afraid to say, hey, we're not coming after the guys who are responsible, who are responsible gun holders, who are stable, who don't have tendency to want to go shoot up a school or any public area. If you don't have tendencies to want to go, kill 200 people, we are not. We don't want your guns. We're not here to bother you. We're not here to tell you to give up your guns. I hate when I hear people say, oh, you liberals are trying to take our guns. If you're the responsible one, then guess what? Ain't nobody wants your guns. Nobody want your guns if you're responsible. But if you have common sense, you will also agree that we need to strengthen the laws just a little bit so unstable people are, as they say, thin out the herd. You make it a little bit harder for the crazy folks to come into the gun shop and buy an assault rifle. And I heard, Meghan McCain, John McCain's doing on the View. She's like, well, y'all don't understand gun country. This is why they buy assault rifles for, hunting and target practice. If you need an assault rifle, assault weapon to go kill Bammy and her mama, fine. That's what you need. According to you, you need to go hunting. I need to go hunting. I need an assault rifle to go shoot Bammy and her mama. Okay, fine. But if you the stable person, fine. But if an unstable person is buying like 10 assault rifles, and we know they're unstable, we have evidence that they're unstable. We got the receipts to prove that they're not capable of having this type of responsibility, then those are the ones that we have to come after. That's all we're saying. We're not saying the responsible people need to give up their guns. The NRA needs to, take all the guns away from the responsible, sane people. We're saying that there's been 18 shootings, and it hasn't been 90 days into the new year yet. 17 people were killed. Most of them were children. And I'm not negating the fact that, that an adult being shot is not as horrible as a child being shot, but children are being killed, and you're saying we don't need to do anything about it. We don't need to change the laws. We don't need to look into the laws. We don't need to rewrite them. We need to make them a little bit, slicker we don't do anything. So how many children have to die for you to say maybe we should do something different? And why is it that people only care about changing something until it happens to them? There was a prime example with the Vegas shooting. Jason Aldean's drummer was like, we need to change the gun laws. Before that, he had no problem with the gun laws. So basically what he was saying, he didn't care. I won't put words into his mouth, but the thing is that Sandy Hook didn't affect him. Florida didn't affect him. None of them shootings before that didn't affect him. It didn't move him. It didn't touch his heart. But as soon as some unstable man took a gun and opened fire onto him and put his life in danger. Now he wants the gun laws to be changed and be a little bit more stricter. And we need to stop behaving this way in America. It's not a problem. It's not a problem to us until it becomes a personal problem. So we don't care that it happens to you as long as it doesn't happen to me. And other people's children shouldn't have to keep dying in order for you to be affected by it and say, oh, well, maybe we do need to sit down and start making and make it more, make things more responsible. Be more accountable for things. The fact that they missed all the warnings or ignored them because there was way too many warnings. The person called the FBI and reported him. The teachers and the students were talking about his social media, about all the things that he was posting, and that it was inappropriate, and he was making threats, and we should be concerned about this, and we should do something about it. And the teachers, the parents, the therapists didn't act on it. They ignored all the warning signs, and now they're sitting there kind of looking as they say, looking kind of stupid, looking there holding the ball, looking kind of dumb. And innocent lives were taken. And now y'all still kind of just sitting there like you don't know what to do. And in reality, you kind of do know what to do. You just don't want to do it because, as people say, you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. But if the NRA really do understand the difference between common sense gun laws and not us just trying to take away your guns and try to mess with your Second Amendment. If you understand simple common sense gun laws, where we make it a little bit more harder for someone who's unstable, especially if they've been unstable for years. Now, maybe you dealt with depression like 10 years ago, and you've been good the last 10 years, and we can prove that you've been good the last 10 years. Then you can go get your gun permit and buy a gun. But if someone has repeatedly, month to month, back to back, have showed evidence, I'm unstable, I'm unstable, I shouldn't be owning guns right now. You're not a responsible gun owner right now. And since you're not a responsible gun owner right now, we need to take the guns away from you. Every time someone brings up, hey, we need to re-look at the gun laws, everyone starts going into panic like, you're not going to take my guns away from me. You're not going to do it. No one wants to take your guns away from you unless you're unstable. If you are unstable, you don't deserve to have your guns. If you are stable, keep your guns. I don't want your guns. I can care less about your guns if you're stable. So all the NRA members, if you're stable, we don't care about your gun. Keep them. But as soon as you become unstable, and then we have the evidence that you're unstable, or if you're unstable and you want to go get a gun permit to go buy a gun, we need to make sure that you can't get a gun with a snap of a finger. If you're that unstable, we gotta make you jump through some hoops, and then maybe you'll give up. Because we understand, people say, guns don't kill people, people kill people. I agree with that. But guess what? Unstable people kill people. So when you let unstable people have guns, what are they gonna do? They're gonna harm themselves or harm other people around them, which is what he did. And we shouldn't have to have 18 shootings in the first month and 2 weeks of the brand new year, and y'all still sitting there talking about, we don't need to touch the gun laws. If you talk about it right now, that's tasteless, that's tactful. We can't do that, we have to wait. Well, Sandy Hook was 6 years ago. Florida was a year ago. Virginia Tech was like, what, 7, 8 years ago? I mean, how much longer we have to wait, How many more shootings have to go? Like, what do we have to do? Sandy Hook, 20 children died at Sandy Hook. The oldest child was 7. They haven't even started their life yet. And even the 14-year-olds haven't started their life yet. And even then, that didn't move you to say, we gotta find some way for unstable people not to be able to get a hold of guns and shoot people. Especially assault rifles. Unstable people Unstable people shouldn't be able to buy an assault rifle on a Saturday afternoon or a Monday morning when we have the evidence that they really are unstable and the treatments that you are providing them are not helping, because they said he was going to counseling. You know, he had a job. He was doing all of that. But guess what? The counseling wasn't helping. If it was helping, he would never show up to school on Wednesday. That was proof that the counseling wasn't helping. That's proof. And his social media, that was proof. His Snapchat, his Instagram, YouTube. He made YouTube videos about hurting people. That was proof to you that the counseling wasn't helping. And then you have evidence right in your face and you still don't feel the need to address it. That's one of the worst things as Americans that we have a hard time doing. We don't like to address things, even when they're like a red flag, like this red flag. It's just beaming in our face, and we'll look the other way, and we'll find so many excuses to talk around the issue. We'll talk around it for years. Because Sandy Hook has been about 5 years. You know, and even though the House has, you know, a couple times in the last couple years try to bring it to the House to pass, you know, maybe stricter laws, they don't get passed. And if they don't get passed, people just move on. They just move on and they just don't bring it up again. But this is proof that you have to keep bringing it up every single year until something passes. And it sticks. Not only do you pass it, but it sticks. That's another thing. There have been a couple of times where the House has brought something to the floor and it didn't stick. It needs to stick. Like forever. We need to make it stick to block unstable people from buying guns and killing our children. Or just our children and just people minding their own business. At the Vegas, that was people at a concert, having a good time, listening to one of their favorite artists, minding their own business. They never met the shooter. They never done nothing wrong to him. They don't even know him. But guess what? People bury their husbands, their sons, their wives, their daughters, their sisters, because of what he did that night at Vegas. Family members got called being told that their family member, their wife, their daughter, their sister, their mother was gunned down at a concert in Vegas. Minding their own business, never done nothing wrong to the shooter. That what makes them innocent. They never did you wrong. They're minding their own business and you opened fire on them. So we need to find a way to protect ourselves from people like them. From people who clearly tells you, I'm unstable. And since you were telling us that you're unstable, we need to make sure guns don't get into your hand with a snap of a finger. So the NRA needs to get off their behind. So the Congress needs to get off their behind. They need to stop being afraid of the NRA. The NRA is not the government. They don't own America. They need to stop putting on the screens like, no, they don't own anyone. Y'all need to find y'all money, get your funding from somebody else. If the NRA doesn't comprehend common sense gun laws, just simple common sense gun laws. We didn't say, you know, we need to get rid of the Second Amendment. We need to go across America and take away everybody's gun. We're not saying that. What we're saying is protect us from the unstable people. That's all we're saying. That kid was clearly unstable. He had no reason. There should have been no reason why a gun should ever been in anywhere around him. He should have been in the same room as a gun. He should have even been in the, you know, he shouldn't have been around a gun. The last thing he needed was a gun. It's the last thing that he needed. And we need to step up our game. The Congress, you need to man up. President Trump, you need to man up. You need to get with your friends. And you need, get with all of them and talk to them. You need to go on down to Congress and say, hey, this right here was horrible. How many more children gotta die in 2018 before y'all start being so afraid of NRA? And, oh, we can't touch gun laws because, oh no. Like, seriously? How many more children have to die? Like, this is not, this didn't shock you enough? Did Sandy Hook not do nothing for you? Like, how many more people have to be buried for you to say, oh, now we have to do something? And this is a sad thing, I don't mean, I'm going to have to say this. This is a really sad thing to say. Congress, one of their children is going to have to be seriously hurt by a gun by some crazy madman for them to want to do something. Because as long as our children are the ones out there dying, they'll get on TV and tell you, I'm sorry for your loss. This is a horrible, horrible thing that's happened. We're there for you. We're praying for you. We'll do whatever it takes to take care of you. We're there for you. We got your back. But you won't change the laws. But as soon as a madman with a gun hurt one of their children, laws are going to be changed. And I'm not saying that, any of the people on Congress that, I want somebody to hurt your children. I'm not saying that. I would never dare say that to anybody. I don't want anyone's child to be hurt. But you know how sad that would be that one of your kids have to be affected by it for to do something. But, damn our children. But if something happened to one of the Trump kids or one of the people on Congress, one of the Republican kids, I can't think of their names right now, Mitch Ryan, but whatever their names are right now, I forgot their names. But if something happened to one of their kids about a crazy, unstable gunman, and then all of a sudden they're going to want laws changed. The thing is that our children's death should affect you enough to make you want to do something. Not if your kid gets injured or something happens to your kid and then all of a sudden you want to do something. The fact that all the parents are burying their kids next week from Wednesday should make you want to do something. Seeing a mother on TV crying, pleading to you to do something about this. To see Jimmy Kimmel, did you watch the video of the mother sitting there just crying and pleading to Trump, I need you to figure, you need to change something, you need to do something different. That should be enough to make you say, you're right, I agree with you, we need to do something. And the thing is, I have a feeling that a couple months is going to go by and we're going to slip back into normalcy. Because a celebrity, I can't think of his name, he made the same comment about Vegas. He said, give it about 2 to 3 weeks, we'll go back into normalcy and we kind of forget all about it. And that's basically what we do. We're outraged now, we're heartbroken now. We're always going to remember it. But the sad part is by mid-March or April, we're going to put this behind us. And we got to stop putting things behind us, and we got to, make a change. We got to, sit here and keep riding these people until they finally do something. So we got to basically keep bothering you, keep poking you, and keep reminding you of all the children we just buried, and you need to do something about it. And it shouldn't be put behind us. And I'm really afraid it's going to happen. I'm afraid in about 30 days, it's going to move. It's going to go behind us. And when it go behind us, and it really breaks my heart because in 30 days, we're going to move on. And no one's going to bring up gun law again until another shooting. And it's the only time gun law is ever brought up is when people die. Don't you think that's a little bit sad? The only time you care about the gun laws when someone dies? Shouldn't the deaths that happened 30 days ago should be enough for you to want to do something? Or we're just waiting until somebody else shoot up a school or a club or a library or a movie theater or a church like the dude did in Texas, shot up the church. We just wait until another church, school, library, campus, concert. We'll wait for another one of them to get, a bunch of people die from that, and then we'll say something. And then it is a vicious cycle that keeps going on and on and on in circles, and no one's breaking the cycle. So President Trump, Congress, break the cycle. How many more children have to die? Break the cycle.